Howdy, everyone. My name is Caleb Riggs. I've lived in 4 states and about 10 different houses, give or take. And with that, I've been to numerous schools, probably more than I can count. And I can remember having to face change. And this was a process that really started for me when I was in elementary school and probably ended when I was a junior or senior in high school. A long process of learning that change is this constant process. I can remember at the beginning of this process, I was sitting in my new house in Corpus Christi, Texas, and I was sitting around, I was thinking about all the new things that I had around me, all the things that were really cool, right? I had a beach that was nearby, I had a park right down the street, I had places I could ride my bike. Everything that a 10-year-old boy could want, I had. Instead of doing any of those things, though, I was sitting inside and I was too scared to go outside because I knew there was going to be change outside, right? My old friends weren't going to be there. My old streets weren't going to be there. Everything was going to change. I then moved to Indianapolis, Indiana, and I had to face that truth a little bit more. I remember the first 2 years were really difficult for me. Eventually, I moved to a new school, and at this new school, I made some really good friends. Friends that I still talk to today. And I thought I was going to be with these friends until the end of my senior year. I was looking forward to senior year of high school with them, and maybe even going to college with some of them. Halfway through freshman year, my parents came to me, though, and they said, "Caleb, we have to move. And we're going to move to Denver, Colorado." About a 16-hour drive away, and I knew that I was going to have to change again, and I wasn't looking forward to it. So I moved to Denver, Colorado, and I'm out there, and I'm faced with this idea of change and this proposition of change, and instead of facing it, I chose to stay comfortable. And something that I learned looking back is that comfort is the antithesis of change, and comfort also is the antithesis to growth. But I decided to stay comfortable. I lived a while away from school, so I could kind of hide and sit in the back, and I talked to people, I was friendly to people, but I didn't make any genuine connections. And by the end of my sophomore year of high school, I was incredibly bored. I didn't have anyone to talk to, didn't have anyone to go hang out with on the weekends, no one to play soccer with. I was really bored, and I knew, and I reflected on the fact it was because of my idea of not to change. It was because of my decision that I made not to change. So I decided to change it. I decided, you know what, I'm going to have to go headlong into this. I will have to change. So I did. I started talking to people. I started changing my own habits so that I could talk to people more, so I could get used to people. I started getting used to the different scenery around me, the different types of people, and it opened up this whole new world to me. I was able to talk to people freely. I was able to make new friends. I was able to learn things about myself and about other people that helped me to this day. Of course, towards the end of my senior year, or towards the beginning of my senior year, as we all were, I was faced with the COVID-19 pandemic, which brought about a lot of change. And I realized that going through that since I had become more comfortable with change, it was a lot easier. It was a heck of a lot easier for me than other people because I had dealt with it so much. After the COVID-19 pandemic was over, I was looking forward to college. And I knew at that point that I was moving again to Austin, Texas, and I knew that I'd be going to Texas A&M. And I was kind of nervous for it, but you know what? I said, you know what? I'll look forward to the change. So I started looking forward to things. I started looking forward to my first game at Kyle Field, getting through my first round of tests, stuff like that. So then when the time came and it was time for me to go to college, it was a lot easier experience for me. I learned that change is this necessary process, this process of growth. And that's what I would like to leave everyone here with today, is that change is something that we're all going to have to face. And you can either choose to kind of turn around and run from it like I did, but eventually it's going to catch up to you. And eventually you're going to have to get comfortable with the fact that it's a necessary part of who we are. But you should also look forward to the fact that change is something that is going to help us grow. It's like growing pains, right? They hurt a little bit at the beginning and it stinks, but at the end of the day, you're bigger and you're stronger for it. Thank you guys for listening.